Hi everybody, and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year to everybody. Well, to begin this new year, I've got another great story that comes out of the Bible. And this story involves what you see here, the Ark of the Covenant. Now, when you think of the Ark of the Covenant, most of you probably think of either Moses and the Ten Commandments, or you think of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And maybe some of you actually remember Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. So is that where the story ends for the Ark?
Did you guys ever go to Sunday school?
Now, where we last left off, if you remember, Hannah dedicated her son Samuel to the temple. And that temple was called Shiloh. And Shiloh was where the Ark of the Covenant was being kept. Now, the priest there was a man named Eli. This is going to be important later. Now, when Samuel was 12 years old, something very mysterious happened to him. So one night, while young Samuel was sleeping, he was awakened by the sound of this strange voice that was coming out of the darkness.
Samuel, Samuel.
Samuel thought that this is probably the priest Eli that was calling him. So he gets up and he goes over to Eli and he says,
"Yes, Master Eli, what would you like?" "What are you talking about? I didn't call you." You were probably dreaming. Or probably somebody's drunk outside. Just go back to bed."
So Samuel goes back to bed and he hears the voice again.
Samuel, Samuel.
And he says, well, okay, this is probably just a dream. I'm just to ignore it. And then this mysterious voice comes back a third time. So he goes back to the priest Eli, and Eli, as a priest, recognizes,
Uh-oh, this is not a dream. This is the voice of God.
And he tells Samuel,
When you hear that voice, what you're to say is, "Oh God, Master, I am here. I'm your servant."
And so Samuel goes back to bed, and lo and behold, he hears the voice again. And this time Samuel knew what to do, and he said,
"Oh God and Master, I am your servant. What do you need?"
And now God tells him something very, very bad. So the next morning, Eli, when he sees Samuel, says,
"So, did God speak to you yesterday?"
and Samuel says,
"Yeah, he did." "Well, what did he say? Did he talk about me?" "Yeah, he talked about you." "Ooh, is he pleased the way that I'm running the temple? Is he happy at the incense that I'm using?" "Not exactly." "Well, did he talk about maybe my sons and the Ark of the Covenant and we're gonna go into battle?" "You're getting warmer."
Exasperated, Eli says,
"Samuel, you've got to tell me, what did God say?"
and Samuel said,
"Well, okay, he said something about your family's wicked and the destruction of your whole family."
So you would think that Eli's response would be, what? My family is going to be destroyed? But actually he took it pretty well. And he said,
"God's will be done."
as we've seen, when God says something is going to happen, it happened. And sure enough, Eli's sons took the Ark of the Covenant into battle, thinking that just by carrying it, they could defeat the Philistines. But that's not what happened, because both sons died in battle. And it was up to some poor messenger to go back to Eli and tell him the bad news.
"Eli, I've got some news from the battle."
And Eli said,
"Great, we won the war, didn't we?"
"That's not exactly what happened. In fact, the opposite of that happened. And not only did we lose the battle, but there's even worse news. Your two sons died in the battle."
"Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It can't possibly get any worse than this."
And then a voice from the back said,
Oh yeah, it can, because Eli, guess what? You're going to be forever remembered as the priest who lost the Ark of the Covenant.
so you would think that this would be the worst thing that could happen to Israel, losing the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, it's not like they lost a smartphone, they lost the telephone for talking to God. So is this the end of the story for the Ark? No, because it was even worse for the Philistines who captured it. Because for the entire 7 months, and only 7 months that they had the ark, they were plagued with all kinds of disease and vermin. And so the Philistines were going crazy with all of these plagues. So there were even people who were saying, this is kind of like that Egyptian dude who lost all those people way back when. So what did the Philistines do? Well, they went to their wise men, and guess what the wise men said? Get rid of the ark. And that's what they did. They put a note on it that said property of Israel, and they put some gold as kind of a sorry gift, and they put the whole thing on a cart, hooked it up to a cow, slapped the cow on the butt, and sent it back to Israel where it came from. What does this whole story teach us? I mean, other than don't steal the ark and cows have a good sense of direction. So number one, when you hear voices, then do what Samuel did, which is go to an authority to make sure of what that voice means. An authority is your parents, it's a police officer, it's your priest, it's people like that that you can trust. And the second thing is not to disrespect those things of God. This is what happened to Eli's sons. They died because they thought the ark was something that could win them a war. They didn't see it as what it truly was, is a covenant with God. Now today we have examples of things like that. The first one I can think of is Holy Communion. I know that some people think of it as just a tasty treat that signals the end of liturgy. But we have to think about it as what it truly is. It is our covenant with God, with Jesus Christ. So thanks everybody for watching. We wish everybody a blessed new year. And remember, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.